what is your take on LeBron James and what he did to Stephen A. Smith?
All right, I'll try to make this as short and quick as possible.
And before we say anything, before you want to make it short and sweet, but again, your short and sweet can end up being long and winded.
No, no, I'm not gonna go long and winded. I see the time that's available right there. I'm not gonna make this super long and winded. I'm gonna make it straight to the point.
Okay, go ahead.
I honestly believe the thing that, and I'll be respectful and call him by his name.
Mm.
I think the thing what LeBron did to Stephen A. It was a joke in a sense to where from one side people want to use the whole he's being a parent thing, blah 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 blah, which okay, I can understand. Father, you want to defend your son, okay. For one, you didn't have to do it in public because you never did that to Skip Bayless, who ragdoll you for God knows how long. And the fact that you have to, he basically, to me, he did it for the camera, trying
Mm.
to act hard, trying to act tough when he's not tough. I don't care how big his muscles are because I still, honestly believe he takes steroids. He takes something for him to help keep him going this long. His little, 3 week whatever vacation to Miami, and he comes back and all of a sudden he's, doing what he does, which not gonna lie, it's amazing what he's able to do at the age of 40, which they love to throw out there. But anyways, back to the point in hand. I think what he did was fake because of the fact that he could have did that. Hey, Stephen A, after the game, need to talk to you. Can you please not talk about my son? I didn't like the things that you said, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then end of story. Wouldn't have been a thing. Now, why I think that it was fake, because you know how I feel about Stephen A. Smith, who I think is the biggest piece of shit walking the face of the earth. And I think he's taken the number one spot from Skip Bayless for God knows how long. But of course, he wants to make his I gotta talk to you and to everybody right now about what me and LeBron James talked about. Matt, they write better stories in WWE. Triple H writes better stories in WWE than that crap that Stephen A was all saying on the Four Letter Network. And then he goes on to Gilbert's Arenas podcast, and then he's talking smack, talking like he's all big and everything.
Yeah,
It's like if someone comes up to you and talks down to you and everything like that, and the moment you walk away and they leave, then you want to act all hard and run your mouth and everything. It's a joke. It is such a joke, and it's not funny. It's not interesting. It's sad because it's how sports has become. You are not talking about sports. We're not talking about the game. We're talking about with the Four Letter Network and with a lot of other media things. It's all about drama and drama and drama. We're not talking about the Cavaliers. We're not
Mhm.
talking about, we talk about Shea, but we're not talking about Oklahoma City. We're not talking about the playoffs coming about, unless it's the Lakers and, whoever else or names. We're not talking about the ins and outs of the sports. We're talking about whatever LeBron's doing, whatever drama LeBron's doing. We're talking about the negative things of the sport versus the positives, the great. What the Cavaliers are doing is freaking amazing. They are having a great season. Nobody wants to talk about them because it's small city Cleveland and LeBron's not there. It's like
Mhm.
what LeBron does, great. Applaud, whatever, whatever. Let's, talk about the game. But no, we have to be fixated with Stephen A. Smith. Who cares? Stephen A. Smith is the most worthless sports anomaly, sports, person that, you know, that's just a waste of time.
It seems like you're trying to edit what you're saying.
Yes, I really am. He's the worst piece of shit walking the face of this earth. Let me just say that. He is a pathetic, lonely ass, thinks he's God walking the face of this earth. And I am waiting for the day to someone to knock him the fuck out, piss on him, take a deuce, throw him in the dumpster, let him get transferred over to the to the trash spill or wherever they dump all the trash at, and then for someone to set it on fire and to sit there and watch. And I'll pray that they call me and let me know where it's at, because I will buy a plane ticket to fly out there to watch his body burn.
All right, let me go ahead and say this right now because I've been thinking about this for so long, and I've drive when I drive home. What the day that interview with Stephen A. Smith was released, and one thing I'm gonna say, like with this, what Aaron was saying, yeah, he was talking tough on Gil's Arena, and I'm just thinking one thing: where was that toughness when LeBron was in your face? Now I'm gonna let this be known right now. When Stephen A. Smith first got on ESPN, Shane, you were probably 3 years old. So you were a little person. So you were probably still being potty trained. And
Yeah, I get it. Jesus Christ. I was
but
one time a toddler. I understand.
okay, but I liked Stephen A. Smith at the time because he was doing something that a lot of people weren't doing, and he was going with his emotion. He was talking, and he was talking big and bad, and he was being like how I was, emotion, like what, just talking real tough, and I like that. But then slowly but surely, he was starting to drive me crazy. And I remember the first time me and Aaron, when we met, we were talking about how, and I was telling him how I couldn't stand ESPN, and one of the main things I couldn't stand Stuart Scott and Stephen A. Smith because I'm like, Stephen A. is starting to drive me crazy. You brought up the thing about being a black man. You're right. You won't know how it is how to be a black man in America. And I'm not going to ask you to. I'm not going to describe it. I'm not going to want you to feel sorry for me or anything. I just want you to understand and understand the situation, and that's just it. Don't try to be like, oh no, it ain't that bad. No, just understand the situation, and that's just it. But one thing with Stephen A. Smith, what was driving me freaking bananas, is like he would make it seem like race played a factor in everything. He seemed like if there was something bad that happened with the black athlete, it was something race related. Not as bad as how Ryan Clark is. Ryan Clark is freaking horrible.
Dude,
But Stephen A. made it so bad, and I was getting sick and tired of it. Like, not everything is racially motivated. How about it's just, it's just stupidity. That's just it. So I was really getting sick and tired of it. And like there was this one interview, I think it was with Terrell Owens, and he said, T.O., come on. Black man to black man. Let me talk to you. Black man to black man. I'm thinking, what do you mean black man to black man? Like, we don't speak a different language. Me and Aaron, we don't talk, and we're like, yeah. So like we're speaking another language. We speak English. What is that supposed to mean? Black man to black man. Don't Everything doesn't have to be racially motivated. And it was driving me freaking bananas. Like, I want to be able to talk. There's times when the racial element hits there, let's talk about it. But not everything has to be racially motivated. So I was getting sick and tired of it. Another thing about Stephen A. Aaron, do you remember that time when Jalen Rose and Skip Bayless got into it on First Take? And then Stephen A. jumped in there and he's talking about, yeah, I'll let everybody know I'm here. I said it. You talked all that big shit that time and about that. I remember that so well because I was like, dang, Stephen A., you got it like that. And then all of a sudden, we're gonna fast forward this to 13 years later. I want to say 13 or 14 years later, LeBron James gets in your face. And you say, I saw a father. Okay, somebody said it best. That's not the first child that you made a comment about. Because when all these other players, they're kids of somebody's to somebody. So if somebody does wrong and somebody confronts you, that's not the first child you ever jumped, who you may have made one. But he said, I was saying this about LeBron. Okay, let's say you said this about LeBron. That's a grown, and before I go on my rant, that was
appetizer?
Huh?
This is the appetizer?
Yeah, no, that was the appetizer. He made he said something like, I was sitting next to my bosses. Aaron, I've known you for going on 16 years.
Hmm.
You are, as far as I'm concerned, you're a gentle guy. I've never you may have gotten irritated, you may have gotten irked,
Hmm.
but I kind of can tell if somebody threatens you, you're going to probably react. It's not about you're not going to cower and you're going to be like, okay, well, whatever. It's not about who I'm with and how much money I make. You're a man first.
Exactly.
And so, and the chain, I remember the first time I met you, and you seem like you're real cool as anything, but you let it be known because again, you said something like if somebody made fun of my voice, you're like, you don't know me to try to make fun of my voice. Who are you? But you're real chill. But if somebody was to make fun of you, you're gonna be like, who the hell are you? So LeBron James got in, basically wasn't in his face in front of all these people, and the cameras are over there watching you, and you let this man punk you. I'm a man first. I don't care about how much money I make. I don't care about who I got to go to. You're not going to embarrass me in front of millions of people just to try to prove your point. But you're talking all this big shit. Yeah, and I said this, and then turn around and you're like, oh, okay, I saw a father first. I mean, yeah, you saw a father first, but you're a man. I mean, what did you say about Braun? What did you say to have him warrant that situation? Did you call Bronny out his name? Did you do anything? But again, he said that it was about LeBron. Okay. What was said to warrant that? Did you call him out his name? Did you disrespect him? Did you say Savannah was all sorts of streetwalkers? What was said? Because if you did and you critiqued him, then somebody needs to, get to take take the thong off and be quiet. But I don't like both of them. I don't like how LeBron sat there and did this in public. If you have a problem with me, come and see me. Give me a call. We can handle this like men. You want to do this in private. Let's do that in private. But let's not do this in public. And Stephen A, you talked all this big shit, and he showed you, and all of a sudden, I saw a father. But then turn around and you're like, yeah, I don't care. You're talking tough now. Where was that toughness when LeBron was right there? My thing is this. I'm tired of Stephen A. Smith. I'm tired of LeBron, and I'm with you all the way. I haven't really been paying attention to the NBA all that much because of the way how the game is played now. But
Hmm.
it is good seeing the Cavaliers look really good right now. After the way how everything was and how LeBron left them and all this other stuff, these guys they look really good right now. Nobody's talking about Oklahoma City. Nobody's talking about. Let me think of another team out there that nobody talks about right now.
Detroit.
Houston,
Detroit.
Detroit went on a big winning streak because of the fact that because again, remember last year how they ended.
Yeah,
No,
Detroit's playing great.
they're
Yeah,
playing
they're
great.
dogs, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's talking about this, but we have to talk about LeBron James throwing a bitch fit because his boy shorts are up his ass. I'm getting tired of this shit. Are we? And then I'm getting tired of him of Stephen A. I don't understand, and I'm right here, and I'm a man, and I saw a father. Fuck you, I'm a father also, but I know for a fact that, and I'm gonna say this right now, if Bronny is in the NBA, yeah, critique his game. But if you talk shit about him and call him all this other stuff, that's different. You're crossing the line. I got into journalism to talk sports. I got into this to talk about the game, not to talk shit about a player, even if I don't like him. Trust me, there's a lot of players I don't like, JJ Stokes. But You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that tangent.
So
You don't want to hear that tangent.
Shane, don't ever bring up that name, please. For the love of God, do not ever bring up that name.
But JJ Stokes and oh my God. I'm just saying, I'm just getting I just didn't like it. I thought it was stupid and I hate the fact of how the media covered it. But that I'm sorry, I just had to cut that short because I know I didn't want to keep you guys a lot more and you guys be like, well damn, really, Sasha? Tell us how you feel.
I know, but let me add this. I'll make this quick, I promise.
Yeah.
But the thing that that bothers me, of course, because with a lot of media, they're not going to talk about this or they're not going to say it out loud. But with LeBron and with Stephen A. Smith, these are, and I'll just straight up and say, these are two super sensitive ass bitches because Stephen A. Smith needs to, he needs all the attention on him. If everybody turned their head and didn't pay attention, he would not know what to fucking do. He would do the most dumbest shit. Just and Skip Bayless is the same way. They would both do the dumbest shit to say, "Look at me, pay attention to me, listen to me." And if you critique him, you know how defensive his ass gets. I'm a
Mhm.
black man. You don't know where I'm from. You don't know what I know. You don't know the people I hang with. Those are his top four remarks to everything. If you ever critique him, he will come out with those because he's a super sensitive ass bitch. LeBron James is also a super sensitive ass bitch. That's why he did that. That's why if you go through the list from the time he made his decision at the YMCA, ever since then, you look at his interviews, you look at his tweets, his thought process. He'll say one thing 1 minute, his pathological lying that he does. He is a massive pas- um, pathological liar.
Those clips are funny
His
though. The one where he tries to read the book, where they try to check him
is
on reading the book. He's
yes.
like, man, it's good. I'm not sorry, side tangent.
Oh no,
That's
no.
hilarious.
And that crosses my mind because there's been 5 pictures of him where he's on that same first page. He's never in the middle. He's never 3/4 of the way. It's on the same opening. Oh, I could quote a lot of things from The Godfather. Well, what? Well, it's a really good movie, and it's like, but that's not a line from The Godfather. It's like you quit pretending, quit, you know. Anyways, but yeah, he's a pathological liar. He's a super sensitive ass bitch, and the fact that everywhere that he's went, when he started in Cleveland, he tried. And the organization basically effed him over a lot as far as with the talent that they surrounded him with. So okay, I can understand him wanting to leave. I understand that. Us old school cats were like, hey, stick it out until you win. Not every player comes in like Magic Johnson and wins a championship their first year. Doesn't always happen. But then from the decision on, he basically whips his stuff out on the table everywhere he goes, and I have to do things my way. And when stuff starts falling apart, I got to get out of here. Oh, I'm coming home to Cleveland. If I was Cleveland, I'd be like, fuck you. We don't want you back. You left us. You could have still, we could have tried to do something to build a better team around you, but you left us. We don't want you back. But no, Sports Illustrated, I'm coming home. I'm like, this fake ass motherfucker. You left Miami after you went to 4 straight finals. You basically, Dirk Nowitzki basically went, killed you in your old team. So, and Jason Terry outplayed you, and basically you played like a bitch, which he is, and so they lost that. Okay, you beat a young Oklahoma City team in which playoff Harden in the finals, revealed himself to what he really is. Because if you ever watched that finals series, which I knew that he was how he is that he got a steal, fast break, wide open, could have
Yeah.
dunked it, layup, could have put a chair down and took about 5 attempts to make this layup. And he laid the ball right under the rim, completely
Mhm.
bricked it. And it was like they were scared, first time in the finals. So they beat Oklahoma City Thunder. Ray Allen, which saved him from winning the championship, making that 3-pointer, forcing the game 7. Not to say that LeBron James didn't have a great series, but let's be honest, Ray Allen saved that Miami team, got them the second championship. Then the
Yeah.
Spurs were like, okay, we're coming back and we're winning this next one. And basically, in that rematch against San Antonio destroyed them. Miami had no chance. Team was breaking down, injuries were coming about. He ran to Cleveland. Okay, great achievement. Won a championship in Cleveland. Some things had to happen, but they won the championship in Cleveland. The man had the audacity to say that he's the GOAT after winning that championship when there was a 4-minute stretch in which no team scored. And I believe a man named Kyrie Irving hit the jumper to win
Yeah.
the game, and you're the GOAT. Fuck you. Team starts to fall apart. Then he runs over to Los Angeles. Doesn't make the playoffs. Go cries to Jeannie Buss, which I honestly think they got something going on.
Yeah.
But anyways, she's basically dry humping LeBron anytime they're pitching together. But so gets rid of all the young talent, Brandon and Ingram, Lonzo, all of them. I need AD, I need AD, I need AD. Of course they worked that, and this whole thing with Luca, yeah, he knew about it. He did whatever he had to do to get Luca, because there's all a connection between all of them. The Nico guy, there's a connection with him and LeBron and with Clutch Sports and all of that. So yeah, he did something. They got him over there. They're trying to get him ring number 5 so that they could say he's better than Jordan, which shouldn't even be an argument anymore.
That's
I
not an
don't care.
argument. I don't care what
That's
it
not
is.
even an argument. But it's overall Stephen A, LeBron, two super sensitive ass bitches, and all they just need is attention. All they need is attention. And with the whole Bronny thing, you know, LeBron again whipped it out for Jeannie so she could draft Bronny, and Bronny deserves every bit of criticism that he gets, along with every other player that was drafted. That if they're not doing good or if they go down to the G League, granted he's going to get all the criticism because he's LeBron James' son. LeBron had the nerve to say that his son is better than half the players in the league. All
Hmm.
right, he's in the league. Let's see it. Be better than half the players. He isn't. And if he gets shitted on, then he gets shitted on. This kid who shouldn't be in the NBA is now in a grown man's league. So you're going to get the grown man business, which if you're not playing well, you're going to get shitted on. You're going to get talked about. And if he doesn't like it, then LeBron needs to get his son in the gym and be like, all right, take 5,000 jumpers every day. Go do the Kobe workout. Do something. You need to get your ass better. And if his son is not ready for all of this type of stuff, then he can go do something else and it's okay.
Right.
But at the same time, with this whole business with Stephen A, where are you, Bronny? You're in a grown man league. Get your balls, put them in your underwear, walk out there and say, hey, Stephen A, shut the fuck up. All of y'all, shut the fuck up. I could talk for myself. I don't need daddy to come and save me every time something goes wrong. Step up, say something. But again, you can't say nothing to God Stephen A. Smith because he's a black man. You don't know where he's come from. You don't know what he's been through and all of that business. And then he's just going to go on his little rant and everybody's going to eat that crap up. And it's like, do y'all motherfuckers not know that he says the same bullshit and all he is the man that yelling to get off of his lawn? And y'all enjoy this shit? Whatever floats the damn boat. I'd rather go on YouTube and put on the 1994 Eastern Conference Finals and watch the scraggly tape on YouTube and enjoy that than anything in basketball related. And I'm sorry that went a little long. That's my
It looks like you were holding that one in for a while.
yeah, just a little bit. I mean, that's every day.
Yeah. But I'm gonna just tell you all this, and I'm gonna finish this right here. I appreciate you all, at least sitting, doing the show with me. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we can probably be able to do this again. Probably in a couple of weeks, if you all want to
Yeah.
do this again, especially coming a little bit closer to the draft. Maybe we can be able to talk a little, talk. I can probably get a couple of subjects together if that's okay with you all.
Do you think it might be possible if we, I don't know what everybody's doing during the draft, but at least the first round, do like a live watch along or
I'm
maybe like afterwards, just kind of talk about what goes on in the first round.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
go with that. So yeah, we can do that. I'll tell you what. I'll let you. I'm gonna think of some questions, and then I'll let you guys know. We could probably do this probably in let's say in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot again, guys. I need to eat dinner because my wife brought me dinner and I haven't eaten, and that was like 2 hours ago. So,
She
so I
didn't
need.
bring us any.
Well, I mean, shoot, she probably made a lot. The woman has a habit of making a lot, and then we waste food. So, I mean, if you want some, come and get it.
Dude, you live too far.
I mean, you're in San Marcos. Shane is the one who's up there in Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
Um, Shane, real quick, the fire. How much of the fire was contained?
60%. Up to
60%.
Yep.
Yeah, because when I drove up there, I was expecting it to be like how like how that video you showed me. But I didn't see anything.
Yeah, they've done a good job.
Okay.
Understaffed as hell, but they're working with what they got.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and let's meet up in 2 weeks. I'm gonna get some questions for y'all. We can go from there.
That's
Thanks,
That
thanks a lot, guys. I
works.
appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Nice to meet you, Shane.
Right back at you, Aaron. Talk in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.